Hi, my name is Jonathan. Being a man, father, and a husband in this world can be difficult. As I face my own insecurities, fear, and anxiety, I hope to connect to other fathers for open discussions from mental health, relationships, music, food, even technology. We like to talk it all. Pull up a chair and relax with us on Dads That Try. Today's guest is a close friend of mine. We both started our careers in information technology at about the same time and have worked closely together for several years. Please welcome to the show, Billy. So I'm just eager to go ahead and get started with this. I know that you have worked in various roles and at different capacities with different companies over the last several years. And looking throughout your career, who has been your biggest mentor and how?
That's a good question because I would say that it's kind of changed a lot over the years because my career goals have shifted a lot.
Hmm.
Uh, um,
As they should.
yeah, I mean, when me and you both started out, the whole financial banking crisis was going on and we were in a deep recession. So
Yes.
it really kind of screwed up a lot of the career progression I would have liked to have had because my original intent was, I'm gonna go get a 2 year degree and
Yes.
then just move on. And then the problem was I got a 2 year degree in like 2007, 2008, somewhere around in there. There were no jobs. But yeah, I mean, definitely starting out, my career in IT was definitely started by my grandmother. My grandmother was probably a big inspiration for me starting out. She went and got a computer science degree back in 1992, maybe three, somewhere around
Yep.
in there. And I just remember her working on that when I was a kid, and um, that's what made me want to get into it originally. Um, but then kind of later on, it shifted to the point to where it's like, well, I want to go. I don't know. It's what was relevant then isn't really relevant now.
Yeah.
And as you get
So
older, you kind of shift around. So I don't really know. I don't really know about now. I guess I kind of I guess don't really have a mentor now.
yeah.
I don't know.
So do you feel like right now there's anyone that you're mentoring?
Not really. I
Yeah.
mean, maybe my child. Uh,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's
but not from a career perspective, obviously.
you hit on a great topic there about being a father and just, it's very satisfying and awesome and fulfilling and from the very moment they hand you your child. But every day as a father can have its ups and downs. So looking over the life that you've had with your son so far, what do you wish that you knew then that you know now, maybe that you've learned the hard way?
I would say um, starting out, definitely keep it simple. Everybody's got, everybody wants to give you all these recommendations of, all these things that you need and all these things that you're going to want to do. And it all comes naturally.
Yeah.
Um, there's no need to get, stressed out and upset about, oh, what am I going to do from day to day, and what am I like, what all does my child need? And, those instincts will come.
You're absolutely right, and I love what you said. And just to go along further with that, I think just being there for your child above everything else is just so vital, and not getting caught up in everything else.
Yeah, I mean, being a part of their life is more than what a lot of kids do get. So, I mean, just the fact that you're there means a lot.
You're spot on there, and as men that have children, we're trying to be the best father we can. Maybe we're even trying to be like our dad or be better or one up him. I know in my case, I don't want to be my dad. I want to be me, but further, I want to be who my children need. So digging in a little bit deeper there, you've been married around 10 years now. What advice would you give a young man that just got married or is about to be married?
Definitely make sure that you're both on the same page in the beginning. Don't be fake at the like because I've definitely seen it, in men where they are just a yes man and they'll never
Mm.
say, what bothers them or whatever. Um, you know, if you don't if you don't like her cooking, then the answer is not eat it anyway because you're going to be eating that crap for 30 years.
uh,
Yeah, it's okay to be you and have an opinion and express yourself. It's very important to be able to express your feelings and communicate what's going on.
Yeah, because if you don't do that, like if you don't set, what the expectations are at the beginning, it's
mhm.
unfair to both of you. It's unfair to her and it's unfair to you because then you wind up being one of those guys that when you go out with your friends that you're, basically griping about your wife all the time, and that's not a way to live.
Now, you're right. I mean, is that what you want for the rest of your life?
No, and we know, me and you both know people that are, yes men.
Yeah.
Just,
Oh
you
yeah.
know,
I mean, you don't want to be living in fear and resentment of your wife. It's meant to be a partnership where you've got somebody with you through the good times, somebody to support you during the bad times. It's not meant to be that way.
yeah, I mean, a good partner should be your best friend. And,
Yeah.
you shouldn't resent that person and you should be able to be honest with them.
I love it. So, do you ever think about leaving a legacy, something to be remembered by?
That's a good question. Mainly because I have a hard time finding, I guess, my own identity.
Hmm.
Um, you know, I don't really know what kind of legacy I can leave other than my child.
Yeah.
And a lot of that has to do with I feel like I have to be, and most men have to be, a different person, like in their professional life and their personal life.
That's an interesting thought. Kind of expand on that for me, where you're going with that.
It's like me and you both have, I guess, professional careers,
Hmm.
and working in an office basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know about you, but an issue that I have is I don't identify with a lot of people I work with because I did not grow up in I guess, a professional household, right? Where, like,
Yeah.
I very closely relate to people that just have everyday factory jobs, right? And
Hmm.
like my hobbies are the same way. Like I don't have you know these very expensive, elaborate hobbies.
Yeah.
Uh, like some of the people I work with, and
Hmm.
you know, so it's one of those things of like if I were to leave a legacy, I don't know what that would be because I feel like I live, what I'd like to achieve personally outside the workplace is quite a bit different than what I want to achieve in the workplace.
Sure, I see what you're getting at there. I guess what comes to my mind is what am I doing in my life that will impact others? And, I'm right there with you, what you're saying there about through your son. And, he will be the one that carries on those memories and just the things that you've taught him. But, going back to what you said, I've never put words to it just like that, and I agree with you. I don't feel like I run in the same circles as a lot of people that I work with. I don't go on these golfing weekends or anything like that.
Well, let me ask you something then.
Sure.
So do you feel like you've made the right choice for yourself career-wise, or do you regret it? Like, do you ever regret your career choice?
I haven't yet. I really enjoy what I do, and it's been a path that I've been on for about 15 years now to be where I'm finally at now. And I'm still looking ahead, but for right now I greatly enjoy what I do. And I guess, like, if I had to go further and just like any regret I might have is just the garbage office politics, but that's everywhere. You just can't get wrapped up in it. At the end of the day, you just got to be you and do the best you can.
Yeah, I would say that's something that a mistake that people make early on in their careers, getting sucked up into office politics in general.
Yeah, you can't get wrapped up in that. I've seen a lot of very smart and upcoming people get wrapped up in that and just trash their careers. But you kind of let into technology now, and so what new tech or new app or gizmo out there just kind of has your attention? The cool thing right now at the moment that you're interested in.
Well, I'll tell you what is looking to be really impressive is the new Microsoft Flight Sim game that's coming out, and it's mainly impressive because of just all the technology that's in the game in general. Like, it's been in development for many years, and my understanding is it's got pretty much the entire world rendered inside of it. So you can do things like you can like fly over your legit house in the game.
Yeah.
Like and they're saying that, like, as far as like machine requirements is just through the roof. It's a really impressive looking game. Like it would take a monstrous machine to run it on like any kind of decent graphics details. But it's looking to be a phenomenal game, and I am not a pilot by any means or nothing like that, but I'm definitely going to check it out because it looks awesome.
Yeah.
And the as far as just tech in general, and I don't want to talk about COVID-19 or anything a lot, but it's definitely been an innovator, or it's definitely pushed innovation, I guess is what you say. Like there's been promises in tech in general. So like when you think about like where you've worked and everything else, there's always, we're going to push for XYZ, product, or we're going to, do one-to-one devices, or we're going to do this automated workflow or whatever. And no one ever delivers that.
Sure.
But you know what? COVID delivered a lot. I mean, think about it, right? I mean, like, look at how many people are able to work from home now.
Sure.
Thanks to COVID. I mean, yeah, it's a horrible thing. I mean, it's horrible that all the death and sickness and stuff has happened. But I mean, it's been a huge push for technological innovation. I mean, look at how many people have started like online schooling and homeschooling. Look at how many colleges have adapted to online schooling. We've been hearing it for years. Like, it's going to become streamlined. Well, now it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, we're going to have so many people working from home. Well, now it is.
Wow, you got right there with it. If we can just go ahead and remove the death, the sickness, the businesses that have closed, the people that have lost their jobs, if we're able to just take that all that off the table and just see what was forced by this, yes, you're absolutely right. And one of the things, this is where I get on my soapbox, is I love how our country was just able to, like, okay, if this is what's going on, we're going to adapt. We're going to innovate. We're going to make things happen. We're going to keep moving forward. And I get really excited when I see things like that. I mean, just people just we're tying up our boots, we're hitting it, and we're going hard.
Yeah, I mean, think about it. 10 years ago, it's like, oh, well, we're going to have so many people doing remote work, and we're going to have like you're going to be able to get your degree from your local colleges online and all, and none of that ever happened for the most part.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now you can. Seemingly over the course of 6 months, all that changed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wow. Yeah. So, you mentioned the epidemic, and that drives a lot of fear. And so if you're willing, I'm hoping that you will be willing to share a recent time that you've encountered fear and overcome it. As men, I think it's kind of misunderstood that we shouldn't show fear, but it's okay to have fear. That means we acknowledge it, and we're able, if we have the courage, we're able to overcome it, and I think that's more important, is just acknowledging the fear and overcoming it. So what's something that you can kind of share in that regard?
I mean, sure. I mean, you know that I changed. Uh, I wouldn't say careers, but kind of the field, the concentration field I was in, and moved to a different company in the last year, and
Yeah.
that was definitely a fearful change for me because I mean the people that I worked with, I'd been there for a long time
Yeah.
and had a lot of friends I worked with, and um, that was definitely fearful for me, like going into a completely new environment,
Yeah.
doing something that I haven't done before, and I don't regret it.
Yeah.
Um, but you definitely have to face that stuff head on, and you know when you have a supportive family, that helps to face your fear as well.
I love it. And, having that supportive family really makes the difference. It's like a driving force and a supportive force at the same time. So, as you went through that, I'm sure you had some goals that you had to set to achieve that. So, what are some of your goal setting techniques?
I don't know. I'm pretty methodical about the things that I do. As far as like coming up with new goals, that's a little bit different. But as far as like if I have a goal that I want to work toward, I'm pretty methodical about planning out how I want to reach it. I mean, even
Yeah.
something as simple as when we bought our home a few years ago, like I'm sitting there going in Excel and putting in addresses and then all the places that we go to and then figuring out the distances and then how long it takes to get to them, just to help narrow down like what seems to be the most convenient.
Yeah.
Uh, you know, uh, goal setting or goal reaching goals is, uh, probably break it up into smaller benchmarks because it's a lot easier for me if I have a say if I want to um, take something simple, let's say like lose weight, it's a
Yeah.
lot easier to have say 10 5-pound goals as opposed
Hmm.
to saying I'm going to lose 50 pounds.
Yeah, I completely get you. Just smaller chunks. I mean, it's like how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So, when you knock out that first 5 pounds, hey, I hit level one. I'm moving on to my next one. So, you know, given what you said about goals, what do you have any projects in front of you right now where you've got maybe some small tasks or goals set out to achieve?
Well, right now I recently bought a truck from auction, so I've been doing a lot of work to it. So I've actually got the front end of it tore apart right now. I'm doing basically a full front end rebuild on it.
That's
And
awesome.
my main goal actually was what I want to do is I want to get into some actual like track racing. Like I want to get into I would love to have like a track car like a Miata or a Mustang or something like that, and I want to use this truck to pull it.
Okay.
So like my end goal with that is like and this is goes back to setting small goals is
Hmm.
like I'd like to get into autocross. I'd like to go to some track days and stuff like that. It's something I've always wanted to do, but I've never had a vehicle to do it. But the trick is to do something like that, you really need a vehicle that can tow it.
Hmm.
Well,
Yeah. It makes a difference.
so step one, get something that can tow it. uh, but that's definitely a big project I got going on right now. It's a fun learning experience for sure.
That just sounds awesome. So, given what you've been working on, have you brought your son into the garage with you?
Well, doing the works, you know, a little loose term, but yeah, he definitely helps out. He's excited to help out for the first 10 minutes or so, and then he's done usually after that. But thankfully, when you're working on something like that, it's not like it's got to be done tomorrow.
I think that's great. Even if it's, even if he's just out there for 10 minutes, I mean, he's seeing you, he's spending time with you. There's that bond being formed. And I mean, he's getting to see what his dad does and what his dad takes an interest in. So, that's just awesome because we want our children to see us as a father, what we do, as a husband, what we do. And We want our sons to see us as a man, what we're doing. So, being a man, like, what are you doing to, take care of yourself, like health wise?
I do get on the elliptical 4 times a week. I've
Wow.
been doing that for, I don't know, probably 5 years now or so.
Yeah.
It's and I mean, I'll be honest, I hate working out.
Yeah.
It's one of those things I just despise doing. And we actually have an elliptical machine here at home, and the main reason I do it is just to try to stay healthy.
Yeah.
I get no enjoyment out of it at all.
But you're committed,
But I
and
do my 30 to 45 minutes. Yeah, I'm committed to. I do my 30 to 45 minutes 4 times a week, which is probably not enough, but it's a decent amount. And the reason why I do the elliptical is I can set my tablet or laptop up in the little tray on the elliptical machine, and I can watch YouTube or Netflix or something while I'm doing it. Like
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, if you are a guy and you're not working out, think about something like that you can do. Because yeah, I mean, if you don't like working out, you don't. But there's definitely stuff you can do so you don't just basically become a couch potato. You can enjoy watching TV while working out. So that's what's worked for me.
I mean, yeah, even at the Y, they have TVs hung up everywhere if you don't want to bring a tablet. And I've been going and lifting weights for about 45 minutes to an hour, and then doing some deep stretching, or what some people would refer to as yoga, but I don't call it yoga. I call it deep stretching. That sounds more manly. But we can't be there for our family if we don't care for ourselves. So it's really important as men to be mindful of our health. So that's great. You've kept that up, and just that you're motivated to maintain that. But Billy, I really admire you. I mean, you're just an awesome man, and a great father and a great husband, and I just really appreciate you taking the time to sit and talk with me today for a bit. Thank you.
Yep, thanks. It was great being on here.
This has been Dads That Try. Feel free to give us a like, a share, heck, even give us a comment. Stay tuned in for the next episode of Dads That Try.